how are you? I'm Dr. Jeff Kingsley, and this is another edition of Riding in Cars with Researchers. As you know, we are doing an ongoing series right now on how you can consistently choose sites that will perform for you on your research trials. We've talked about that baseball analogy. If you don't remember it, look it up on one of the last two videos that we did. I believe the first time I mentioned it was on the video on infrastructure. Look it up. You don't always hit a home run, but professional sites should be bet on. They will hit home runs more often than amateurs or people that are dabbling in research. So we've already talked about look for sites that have high degrees of infrastructure. Look for sites that have low amounts of bureaucracy. Today we will talk about sites that have direct access to an EMR, an electronic medical record. I interviewed Felicia Irvin, a full-time sales and marketing director who looks for patients for research trials, maybe a month ago. Felicia talked about looking for patients in medical records, looking for patients via social media, geofencing, traditional marketing, radio, TV, newspaper, billboards. She talked about all sorts of ways that she uses to find patients for research trials. But the singular best way we find patients for research trials is by looking directly into a physician's medical record. When you do TV, for example, you're placing an ad and throwing it out there into the universe, and it's being seen by hundreds of thousands of people, most of which have no interest whatsoever in what you're advertising. So you're putting your ad in front of lots of people, but it's wasted on most of those people. If you're advertising a high blood pressure trial, most of the people seeing the ad don't have high blood pressure or don't meet criteria for your trial. So there's a lot of waste. It's a wide net, but a lot of waste. The singular best way we find patients for research trials, the most accurate way, is to look directly into a physician database and see specifically you. A patient with high blood pressure who doesn't have diabetes, who is on 2 high blood pressure medicines, but isn't on 3 or more high blood pressure medicines, who doesn't have a diagnosis of cancer, who doesn't have any other comorbid conditions. It's the singular most accurate way we find patients. Now, most sites don't have direct access to a patient database. Most sites, even if they are working directly with a physician, with a practice, with a patient database, they aren't accurately querying that database and contacting those patients directly. Most sites are using advertising to find patients, or they're waiting for the physician to directly ask patients if they would be interested in participating because that patient happens to be in front of them at that moment in time and they thought about the trial, or they're waiting for support staff to refer that patient. That's amazingly common in research. If you target sites that have direct access to an EMR, have the ability to query that EMR, and print out from that EMR a list of potential patients for the research trial, and then directly reach out to those patients and say, would you be interested in learning more? That is the most accurate way you will predict enrollment in a research trial. Look for it. Not always going to be a home run, just like many of these others, but it is predictive of success. That's number 3. Infrastructure, low bureaucracy, direct access to an EMR. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on our social media pages. We publish loads more material than these educational pieces. This team is doing amazingly cool things. Follow us, you'll learn more. And as always, thanks for riding along. Take care.